Hi student Scribes, my name is Lauren Chin and I'm a recent 2020 graduate of Occidental College. While I was at Occidental, I was a double major in biochemistry as well as kinesiology because I really appreciated how the small molecular interactions between proteins and different cells could amplify into these large organ systems in the human body. And studying these processes from top to bottom really made me realize that my dream career is to be a physician. While I was at Occidental, I also participated in women's ultimate frisbee. I grew up playing basketball, so I really love doing sports and outdoor activities such as hiking and swimming. And while I was also in college, I participated in Greek life. I was a member of Kappa Alpha Theta, and I was also a member of the chapter at our college's national fraternity for chemistry, Alpha Chi Sigma. Since I also really like chemistry, as you can tell, one of my other hobbies in my free time, I love to bake, especially baking cupcakes, cinnamon rolls, and different types of bread. And I combine that love of baking along with my love of chemistry in a friends club known as Periodic Baking, where we would bring free ingredients for our members, let them bake, give them a recipe, and also explain a short science presentation about how different ingredients contribute to the final product. So for example, what the fundamental differences between cupcakes and muffins, which I created. I really loved making that presentation, as well as what makes gluten important in bread baking. If I had one superpower, I'd probably love the power of super speed. One of my favorite shows is The Flash, and just the one thing I think I was like, I really want the superpower was watching that show and then seeing him not even like saving people, it was like seeing him read an entire book in less than 10 seconds. I just would love to see how much I could learn and all the fun books I could read, all the fantasy books and sci-fi fiction books I could read, as well as textbooks, and just feeling that I have enough time for everything. I love to participate in as many activities as I can, and just being able to do it at a faster rate while keeping up with all my other responsibilities would be amazing, as well as probably saving the world every so often. My favorite class in college was a class I took my sophomore year. It was nutrition and homeostasis. I went in thinking I was going to learn about vitamins and different biomolecules in food, but found out it was so much more. In addition to all the science, the hardcore science, there was also a lot of sociology component, a psychology component, and then just understanding the relationship between people and their food and their culture, which is really cool. My professor brought in guest speakers from AAPI nonprofits, as well as as well as a local indigenous collective who taught us about their cultures and their culture's relationship with food. And I also really enjoyed having a class that was so relatable to my life. Like, I would go to the dining hall, and one of our projects was to write down what we ate that day and then calculate kind of how many carbohydrates we were getting or in 3 days. And then from then on, I think I really understood the importance of healthy eating and also the barriers that prevent people from doing so. And one of the most interesting things I've learned from one of my classes was when I was in a public health class, global public health, and then there was kind of a case study, a lesson we learned that at first there was a lot of lack of hand washing in a community in Africa, and the government was really trying to encourage people to wash their hands. And at first they tried telling people individually, like, you're going to get XYZ disease, but hand washing rates were still low. And then they finally realized and they teamed up with Unilever and their advertising campaign, and they made a media campaign showing these different ads on television, showing not just like you're going to get these diseases, more like if you were to not wash your hands after using the restroom. And they depict it with this green paint on someone's hands, and then showing a caring mother leaving the restroom without washing her hands, then preparing dinner for her family, and then you could see the paint getting all over the food and into the children's mouths. And it wasn't even scientifically based. There was no mention of names or molecules. There was not even any dialogue. It was just a showing of this green paint. And that's what I thought was really amazing. You could communicate an important health topic and have it have even better results if you know your target community, families and caring mothers, and then showing how that could affect their lives in everyday life. and that is leading me to interest in public health, Master's of Public Health program I'll be applying this fall, and I hope to learn more about easy science communication to the public for the betterment of community health, as well as individual health. As for what I think I will be able to bring in the clinical setting, I have experience shadowing health professions, and I also served as a volunteer at a hospital. Unfortunately, that position has been postponed due to COVID-19, and I would really love an opportunity to get back into the clinic, learn more about patients, so I can bring eagerness and passion. I really love learning about the different ways to communicate with patients. I have HIPAA training due to past positions at health institutions, and I also love to learn. I have history and knowledge of basic anatomy and physiology, and as well as different biotech devices. So I would love the opportunity to be able to scribe for a physician, get to create that mentorship, or as well as like professional relationship, and also help them in their duties. I love taking organized notes. I was a note taker in college, paid note taker, so I know how to best organize things in a most brief and neat and organized way. And I would be excited to learn from different patients, as well as putting their perspectives through cultural competency, which is one of my core values. I really would like to see how physicians take on their role as someone part of the community, or maybe not a resident of that community, and seeing how they relate to their patients and their different ethnicities and experiences. And I think I could also take that into great context to take sensitive notes, but that include the most important details, not just their health information, but as well as how do they feel and how their family has been participating, and just their general well-being. And I hope to bring my eagerness to learn to the clinic and serving my community as well. Thank you for this opportunity to interview.